Hello guys, welcome back to your Falcom news roundup for March and April. As before, an appreciative shout out goes to Juan and Hansuke for translating some of these articles. Let's get started. Kicking off with the merchandise and a pretty cool service if you're living in Japan yourself. I'm not jealous. Komporin are a service that allows you to purchase calendar images and bromides from various genres, and it turns out that they're working in partnership with Neon Falcom themselves, offering individual Hajimari printouts. And the process looks fairly simple. You note down the bromide you want from the site, take that print number to a local konbini, or convenience store to you and me, and simply print it out for 200 to 300 yen. So effectively, you could create your own Falcom-based calendar if you really wanted, and there's a wide array of images available on the site. Really cool service. I wish I could take advantage of it myself, but hopefully this will keep going for the foreseeable future. In terms of more contemporary merchandise, it looks like Curtain Damashi have also got involved in the action, offering tapestries, mousepads, chargers and more with Hajimari based images. I would be careful though should you choose to visit the site, because there is a big spoiler for Hajimari on that homepage. Just don't scroll down if you can help it. Into Tokyo itself now, and Kotobukyo are having a little fun celebrating the 5th anniversary of their Tachikawa-based store, which for you informed fans is where Falcom's head office is. Not only did they give us some further images of the Altina prototype that is in development, but nothing on Rin yet, they also wanted to commemorate the occasion in their own way. They not only set up a collaboration cafe on the 1st of May, but also offered a wide array of goods from the series on April the 29th. Hopefully when this situation is behind us and we can go travelling again, it might be worth visiting Tachikawa on your Japan travels just so you can get your fix of Falcom goods. They seem to have a lot of them sprinkled around the area. Don't believe me? Then check out this image from the Bic Camera, also based in Tachikawa. They've got Falcom on the brain around there. Now as for Falcom themselves, they were not completely content to stay silent. They put up some acrylic illustrations on their website along with an announcement that the official Ise via Sora no Kiseki OST is now into its final stock, and will be discontinued soon after. Finally, a little bit closer to home, Pinbox have been very busy over the past 2 months. They not only announced a box replacement program for items already sold, but also reported that they were releasing brand new pins for both Ise and the Trails series. And some of my frequent viewers will know that I was sent some samples of these pins just before the announcement was dropped. Not only are the new boxes just overall more consistent in quality, but the new pin designs as well were a real joy to behold. An excellent item for any Falcom collection, and if you're curious about them, then check out my video from about a month ago. However, Pinbox were not finished there. They've announced the development of a Risha pin and t-shirt thanks to some dedicated fans, a Randy pin is in the works, and it looks like we might even be getting Ellie and Lloyd on top of that. A very apt set of items considering the big news that was announced on Saturday the 1st of May. We'll be touching on that soon. Next, let's have a look at some of the interesting tidbits concerning Falcom's 40th anniversary, most notably in regards to the latest issue of the Falcom magazine and the results of the extended questionnaire which ended on March the 31st. Of course, back in February, the likes of Dengeki had a live stream to commemorate the occasion, and some of that has spilled over to Clouded Leopard Entertainment, who some will know are the localizer of many Falcom games in Asia. It turns out that they decided to have their own event where they went over the results of Falcom's extended questionnaire with Korean participants, of which there are around 650. Now, it asked many similar questions that were touched on back in February, which we'll look at the answers for, but they also decided to delve into the technical aspects as well, giving Falcom an idea of how they can improve their strategies going forward into wider Asian markets. For example, the submitters said that in order to appeal more to the Korean fanbase, the graphics would need to improve, which appears to already be on the agenda with the in-house engine being utilised as we speak for Kuro no Kiseki. They also talked about goods that they wish had come to Korea, like figures, magazines and OSTs, and if you're watching Falcom, they're not the only ones who want those too. Plus, they also expressed their desire to see more Falcom-based events in Korea. As for the games themselves, it seems that Emma won the waifu wars, while Rin and Estelle were voted as the best male and female characters respectively. In terms of their favourite game in the Trails series, it was Hajimari no Kiseki, so something to look forward to for when it eventually comes west. Now moving back to Japan, let's have a look at some highlights from the Kondo interview as part of Volume 122 of the Falcom magazine. There wasn't much that we haven't made mention of before, but there were nods to the likes of the JDK band and getting them involved in future events when the pandemic sorts out. On top of that, Kondo also stated that some employees within the company are pining for a Tokyo Xanadu sequel, though he pretty much poured cold water on this, simply stating that they don't have enough time at the moment. And one reason why they're lacking time is because they're reportedly working on the new Ise title. However, we do know that Falcom are not only going to be using the new engine for this game, but it also will be a new approach for Ys, which might suggest that the group-based combat that has been the focus of the last 4 games might be making way for something different. I think many people were expecting a new Ys game to be announced in the shareholder meeting this year due to the 35th anniversary of the series, but to hear that Falcom are flirting with a potential new archetype of gameplay is intriguing, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes up the tried and tested formula we have already. Now on to the games themselves. For those of you who are involved with the mobile game Akatsuki no Kiseki, you might be a little sad to find out that Chinese servers are closing down. But apparently UserJoy Japan will be keeping the servers up at least until the end of the story, which has been released in segments over the past few years. I'm not sure how much longer that will take, but it's not canon, so don't worry about missing out on plot elements for the wider series. Moving on to Ys 9 now, and in particular sales relating to physical editions. It appears to have sold fairly well, as physical copies have been hard to come by in certain regions. However, whether this was due to high demand or just very low supply in the first place remains to be seen. On top of that, it received a patch to optimize it for PlayStation 5, fixing a few bugs and upscaling it for 4K. And finally, in terms of Western news, Ys 9 will get a release on Switch and PC for July the 6th and 9th in North America and Europe respectively. Now this is good news for me personally, because I do want to give the game a second playthrough, as my experience on my PlayStation 4 Slim was not optimal to say the least. Now I'll get the chance to at least give it a go on the best platform possible, which I feel is going to make my opinion on the game far more objective, because I'm not gonna lie, the poor frame rate really hampered my enjoyment the first time around. As for Cold Steel 4, which of course was released for PC and Switch in March, it seems to be branching out to wider platforms. It can now be accessed via Nvidia GeForce Now, which, for those who aren't aware, is Nvidia's cloud gaming service. The service itself effectively allows you to stream the game from any device that has the application, making it possible to play the game in its best form as long as you have a decent internet connection. It bypasses the need to have strong local specs in your own computer by relaying it through Nvidia's service, thus simulating a high-end PC experience. So it's a pretty cool alternative if you want to play Cold Steel 4 in a more pleasing way, but as said before, you'll need to have a good internet connection to stream it in the first place. And since we're touching on cloud-based gaming, there was also more news on April the 1st, and no, this isn't April Fool's. It turns out that the final Cold Steel entry was also added to the deep and extensive library of the Stadia. Yeah, can't keep a straight face with that one. It wasn't the only Falcom title added, the likes of Ys 8 and Cold Steel 3 were also included, but let's be real here, who cares about the Stadia? I just felt it had to be mentioned for the 5 people who own one. Anyway, Asia are getting it pretty good again thanks to Clouded Leopard Entertainment, as they're getting Switch releases of Cold Steel 1 and 2 complete with pre-order bonuses like tapestries from Wondergoo. Not only that, but they're also getting Hajimari on the Switch and PC for release on August the 26th, complete with DLC bundles which I won't show for spoiler reasons. And now onto Naruto no Kiseki Kai. Of course, some of us are aware of its release date of June the 24th for PS4 in Japan, and considering we're edging ever closer to that fateful date, Falcom were showing off their own pre-order bonus along with a clearer look at what the other retailers had to offer. We already touched on the likes of Army and Wondergoo's bonuses in our February roundup, but we had no idea what Falcom were planning. Now we do. They're going to be doing an acrylic charm of Noi, one for each season, and if I read it correctly as I was going off my rusty Japanese, you won't get all 4, you just get one at random along with the OST that comes as standard from all outlets. Not gonna lie, I was a bit disappointed in that one, but whatever, all the proceeds go straight to Falcom in this case, silver lining and all that. They also showed off a second trailer for the game which looks very nice, but I will warn you, beware of spoilers because there are quite a few there. I'm talking Sky SC Evo levels of spoilers in some cases. Finally, if you're planning to try out the Geofronts patch of Zero no Kiseki, then DL Site has the game 50% off as of the time of recording. And this might be the perfect time to give it a go because the Geofronts put out a notification on May the 1st that the Trails to Azure patch will be releasing this month, if all goes to plan, which is just over a year since the Zero patch released. I will definitely be playing this. Even though I've had Trails from Zero on my computer since that time, I did want to wait until Azure was released as well so I could get the best experience possible, by playing them back to back in their best form. Once again, a fantastic effort from all those involved, you have done an amazing job. And naturally, as we do in many of these news videos, let's go over the latest information relating to Kuro no Kiseki. Not really any spoilers here, but here's the timestamp if you want to skip. Honestly speaking, there wasn't much over the past 2 months. We got a little more information from Kondo's interview and the Falcom magazine from earlier, but nothing that we didn't really know already. It was just deeper dives into the characters that have already been announced, like Van, Agnes and Ferry. But they did embed a video on the Kuro no Kiseki website showing us a bit more of the command and action based gameplay, along with some of the crafts unique to each character. As said before, it looks very cool, and if Falcom can make this hybrid system work as well as it appears to, then I think they're onto a real winner. Unfortunately though, that is pretty much all we got this month, but I'd like to believe there'll be a lot more juicy details as we edge closer to Kuro's release. And that is it guys, your March and April Falcom news roundup is complete. Please like and subscribe for more JRPG and Falcom related content because we've got a lot coming up over the next 2 months or so. Have a good one, peace.